In any fight, army troops and platforms need to keep moving and be within shooting distance of their targets to be effective. They can almost always expect difficult terrain with either natural or man-made obstacles. So how do you get to the other side of, say, this wet gap that's in your way?
Now, if I'm walking along and there's a gap in my way, I probably just jump over it, if it's small enough. But if it's any bigger, I'll probably have to use these planks to help me walk over it. Okay, here we go, and watch your balance. And there you have it. Now, the planks work fine for me, but it's a different ballgame for the army altogether.
When it comes to a quick solution for crossing a gap, the army calls in the professionals in military bridging, the combat engineers. Military bridging is a process of assembling precision-engineered bridging parts and then launching them over a gap for your forces to cross over. But even before attempting a bridging operation, there are a few things you need to consider.
The preferred way is always bypass, right? So long as we can find an easier and quicker means to overcome it. However, because of the tactical situation, sometimes the enemy may destroy the bridges to force you to use an alternate route. We will have to do a bridge across a gap instead of falling into the enemy traps.
With tons of equipment and different parts to assemble, a bridging task in the past was quite a challenge.
The old bridge system requires a lot of manpower, a lot of energy to carry the parts. You need to construct piece by piece, and it takes a lot of time.
While combat engineers are still expected to move tons of equipment and parts, things have changed in the way they build their bridges. The Foldable Longspan Bridge, for example, is a rapid deployable and efficient bridging system for troops and vehicles. The launching vehicle moves into position for the first phase of the bridging operation. With the help of a powerful crane on the vehicle, the 12-man platoon begins the construction of the traversing beam, which extends all the way to the far bank. Next come the huge pieces of bridging parts. A total of 5 bridging parts will sit atop the traversing beam to form the roadway for vehicles and troops. The bridge parts are pushed sequentially over the traversing beam to complete the Foldable Longspan Bridge.
To allow vehicles and foot soldiers to cross from the home bank to the far bank. That is our main capability. There's more technology involved. So for that, we can construct the bridge in a shorter period of time, and we can move on with our missions even faster.
This metal monster you see here is the Leopard 2 Armoured Vehicle Launched Bridge. It's a fully automated bridge that takes about 5 minutes to deploy for the support of armoured forces. And it's as easy to pack it up as it is to deploy. A few quick sliding actions and it's ready to scoot off to another location. Because it's based on a Leopard main battle tank chassis, it moves fast to keep pace with the armoured forces it supports.
Honestly, it's quite scary. It has a lot of horsepower, and when you try and rev it up, you can really hear the engine roaring behind you. The bridge on top of the vehicle actually extends beyond the tank itself, so we have to account for it in our turning angles.
While the sliding action saves time in deployment and extraction, it also has some tactical advantages over older bridging systems.
The older bridge launches via a scissors action, so it goes up, then opens up. That requires a much higher profile than with a sliding action, which makes us less exposed to any fire, also allows us to launch even with a canopy above our heads.
These green behemoths may look like any other wheeled vehicles you see in the SAF. But once they hit the water, they take on a different form. These are the M3G military float bridge and rafts that the combat engineers use to piggyback vehicles across a wet gap. Two of these rumbling giants are pieced together to form one raft. And it takes only 8 men to deploy and operate the M3G. In less than 20 minutes, the lumbering vehicles take on a sleeker and flatter profile. They are now ready for passengers. A single raft can carry up to 3 5-tonner trucks or their equivalent. Using jet pumps situated under the platform, the rafts move around in the water much like jet skis. If need be, they can turn 360 degrees on the spot. This makes the M3G highly maneuverable in tight corners.
To travel through a tighter space, instead of having the rig to go straight, we can do it like a 90-degree turn, and we can go in like this instead. Yes, to have a much lesser width to be able to cover the space itself.
Having that maneuverability, right, is quite a big advantage to us. Yeah. At times, right, we may know the route, but we don't know what lies below the route and what lies around it. We may not really be able to see.
When you piece the rafts together one by one, you get a continuous bridge all the way to the other side.
A bridge is constrained by factors such as the length that is needed to be spanned. We are only capable of spanning a distance of around 100 meters. As for a raft, we are able to travel for much longer distances, and that gives us the ability to transport large amounts of men and material across the battlefield.
It may seem an easy task, constructing the M3G and keeping the rafting or bridging operations going. But the guys will tell you it's not easy at all.
The current of the water body is unpredictable. Sometimes it might be strong, sometimes it might be smooth sailing. We must be able to handle the situation.
The onset of tiredness is the main thing of operations because it's physical and we will operate throughout the night. The mental strength has to be there to pull through the rafting and bridge operations.
Catch the second part of the combat engineers next week for an earth-moving, ground-shaking experience.